Hello, my friends. Today, I'm going to work with you in a playful way on this topic of the comfort zone. Almost everybody I have ever spoken to in the self-development field, including mentors I have had, will say that success is all about getting out of your comfort zone. That's one way to look at it. I, however, have chosen to look at it the way Dr. Maltz looked at it. There's nowhere in Psycho-Cybernetics where Dr. Maltz tells you to get out of your comfort zone. In fact, the entire book is about teaching you, without explicitly saying it with these words, it's teaching you to get into your comfort zone. Because once you are comfortable, it's easy to expand. You will see this in chapter 13 of Psycho-Cybernetics. You'll also see it in other chapters where they've done tests. And of course, the tests that are noted in the book were done prior to 1960. But the same type of tests are being done today. I remember being in college reading a book called Super Learning. Super Learning, still available, as well as the sequels. And in this book, you were taught the secret to learning languages rapidly. The secret to learning material you're studying for your exams or to get your master's degree, your PhD, your undergraduate degree, doesn't matter. But when the person who is tested by listening to Baroque music, classical music, it got the person comfortable. And as a result of the stress response being lowered, guess what happened? The person was able to learn faster, much faster. In chapter 13, Dr. Maltz has many, many stories. My favorite, of course, is the one having to do with baseball. You have the player who's swinging and missing by a foot on every pitch his father throws to him. Dr. Maltz arrives on the scene. He asks if he can participate in this play. He advises the boy to hold the bat on his shoulder, but don't swing. Watch the ball as it comes toward the plate and goes past you. Just watch it, but don't swing. How hard is that? Step 2. That was step 1, by the way. Step 2 was to hold the bat on your shoulder and imagine you're swinging and hitting the ball hard, but don't swing as you watch and track the ball. Step 3 was to swing away, to trust the mechanism, to swing away. Now, I didn't say this in the newsletter, but I'm going to tell you now. There's one step missing from the process that I just relived for you or re-dramatized for you. There's one step missing that if Dr. Maltz had employed this step, even better results, even faster results, and results that transcend just that boy, but go to everyone. But I use the story with my own son with marvelous results. So those 3 steps alone are tremendous, but if you're a teacher, if you're a coach, and you want to get faster results, what would the step be that I'm saying is missing? What is that missing step? Well, the missing step is to get the mirror neurons to fire. Mirror neurons are neurons in the brain that when we see someone else doing something, our brain encodes it the same as though we did it. Therefore, if I take the cap off of this pen and you start to pay attention to the sensations you feel when you see me writing in cursive. Pay attention, even this, pay attention to what you feel, what you notice inside of your own brain, inside your body, when you watch me do this. Now, you might have the thought that, I can't read your writing, and if you can't read my writing, it means you don't know cursive. That's what it means. So it's not that you can't read my writing, it's that you haven't been taught cursive. So if you don't understand cursive to write it yourself, you can't read it. It's the same with virtually anything. Once you can do it, you can read it. But the major point I want to make here is the mirror neurons. If I had a cup of coffee with me now and I began to sip it, began to drink, your body will have, in brain and body, will have a reaction take place where you're wondering and thinking, maybe I should have some coffee. Or most importantly, you're having a sensation that you're drinking it yourself. This is very important with teaching other people. Why? Because, I'm going to wipe this off now, because when you take the time to demonstrate something, you demonstrate it first, it gives people more access to their own brain. They're watching you do it. So if Dr. Maltz grabbed the bat and said, son, let me show you how to hit the ball. And he grabs the bat and he swings and hits it about 10 times. Is that going to help the boy? Yes. Now the question is, should it be step 1 or should it be step 4? 5, 6, 7, 8. See, first step could be exactly the way he did it, or it could be first he demonstrates. But maybe that's too soon to demonstrate. It depends. With cursive handwriting and with drawing and so on, it's better to demonstrate first, but only give the person enough that they're comfortable and can latch on to it. So, if we take this with cursive, is to just show a person this stroke. It's a curvy, wave-like stroke. That stroke. Cursive handwriting is there are not many strokes. It's a maximum of 7. And that's the most detailed cursive handwriting. That's the Spencerian. But if I can get you to just draw a little wave over and over, can even trace over it, then you've got the first step. Because all the lowercase letters in cursive, here's the letter A, you'll see what I did is I make the upward stroke, then I come down, and I make this oval. Well, that's not an A, that's an O. Oh! So the O is the same, the U is the same, the I is the same, the E is the same. You go up, you come down. You go up, you come down. Now, every letter is done that way. So the second part of learning cursive would be to understand this oval shape. Because, why? I go up, and to make my A, I go down. There's the O. Here's the A. So the O I stop at the top. The A, I come back down and loop it. With every single letter, if I'm writing the ABCs, this same formula applies. So as a teacher, and I'm going through this faster than I would if I was working with you one-on-one, but the key is that I demonstrate it first. And I demonstrate a little bit. Then, along with you, I'm going to do it. Let's do this together. Then, you allow the person to do it on his or her own. That's another way to get the person into the comfort zone using procedural learning methods. So 1 is bat on the shoulder, don't swing. 2, bat on the shoulder, imagine you're hitting the ball hard, don't swing. Step 3, let yourself go, hit the ball. The other procedural method is demonstrate. Just have the person watch. Tell the person, only watch. Second, watch and do it with me. And then, as the person does it, do you criticize? Would the criticism put the person in the comfort zone? What you do is you explain to the person how to do it again. And you show it again and again and again. Sometimes, for the sake of brevity, we say, no, that's not that way, do it this way. Sometimes. And it's quicker, because we get to the meat of the matter faster. But the more often you can avoid those words, the more often you can say, let's do it again. Here we go again. One of the teachers I had in China was great, because when I would do something incorrectly, he would just say, no. That was it. No. Not, no, that's wrong. No, that's terrible. No, that sucks. Just no. Then pause. The pause allows the person time to regroup. And then you demonstrate it again to fire the mirror neurons. Now you might have noticed that I'm sweating. Why am I sweating? Because I'm in hot, sunny Florida. I'm in my garage gym, my garage library. And there's no AC in here. It's a wonderful thing. As a result, you may hear some cars moving here and there. You might hear a plane fly overhead. You might hear some buzzing here and there. Tune in to what I'm saying rather than these extraneous noises. Now, am I comfortable standing here talking to you while sweating? Yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Think of the comfort zone in this way. Suppose you are going to buy a house and you go meet with a realtor. The realtor brings you in, offers you some water, offers you a cushy chair to sit down on, offers you a tea or a coffee, You see? Why? Why? To make you comfortable. A person who's uncomfortable is not going to buy a house, at least not from that realtor. This is the same way with organizing your mind and getting yourself in agreement with the unconscious. Getting the conscious to agree with the unconscious. Now, how are you going to do that if the unconscious already has certain beliefs? Already thinks certain things, many of which are not true, many of which are not helpful at all. How are you going to do that without a fight? The objective is to win the battle without fighting. It's not to have this prolonged 30-day battle. This is why you look at self-development as playtime. The original title that Maltz had for Psycho-Cybernetics when the contracts were drawn up, and I know I have the contracts because I own the business. The working title when the contract was given was The Playhouse of Your Mind. The Playhouse, which later became one of his sayings of the theater of the mind. But the playhouse is really accurate because we're talking about play. We're not working on ourselves. We're playing, not with ourselves, but we're playing with our mind to see what will happen. This brings me to how we can start applying, in this lesson, the comfort zone to three things. Number one, goal setting. Number two, affirmations. And number three, visualization. What you got to understand here is if I'm going to talk about the comfort zone, this is how many people will do it. They'll say, here's where you're comfortable, and you need to expand to out here, where you're not comfortable. This is the inculcation. What I'm going to tell you is we're going to start here. There's no circle. We start where we are. And from that spot, I'm going to begin moving. And gradually, without me realizing it, my comfort zone will expand. Gradually, without me even realizing it, until the moment I take a look back in time, my comfort zone expanded without me realizing it. This is a person who might go into meet the real estate salesperson. Once the person gets comfortable, the possibilities of what kind of house you're going to get expand. That's one way of looking at the comfort zone. I think that's very, very helpful. The other way is we start outside and we go closer and closer to the center. By this, what I mean is you start where you are with the daily task of accomplishing a certain goal. And every time you accomplish that goal, you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the skill required to accomplish that goal with ease. If you're taking on something new, golf, tennis, maybe even practicing shooting free throws. In the beginning, you have the daily goal of how many you want to shoot and score. Well, it might take you 50 tries to get 10. It might take you 50 tries to get 5. What is the goal? But now each day you go back with the same goal, and it gets easier because the skill deepens. You're going deeper into the zone. That's another way I explain it. But the key fundamental point of this is that we are not moving in a linear way when we learn. We're not moving in a linear way. The approach here is to go around in circles. And by going around in circles, I go deeper and deeper and deeper into the circle. I get the essence, I get the bone marrow, I get the nectar from the flowers because I'm willing to go deep. Any practice that you create a daily goal, let me wipe a little bit of sweat here. Yeah, that's a lot of sweat. Any practice that you repeat day after day and you have a goal, you'll get better at it without even trying. There's no long-term goal of 20 years from now, I want to be here. That's fine if you want to have long-term goals, but the key to getting there is going to be in having something that builds momentum. You need a skill that builds momentum. And that skill is achieving daily goals. You got to have something that every day you make it happen. I was reading a book the other day by a gentleman who was talking about in his career, he has written over 1 million words having to do with health and fitness. Over 1 million words. And as I read that, I was impressed. I thought, wow, that's a lot of words. Now, I don't and never have entertained the thought of how many words I have written over my lifetime thus far in regard to health and fitness. I know that my book, Combat Conditioning, has about 30,000 words. I know Combat Abs had about that many. Expect to Win, Hate to Lose had about 50, 60,000 words. And you know, most of my books are less than 60,000 words. But I write daily emails and I have monthly newsletters, and I've had these for years. And as I began to contemplate this, I realized while driving around, I've written millions and millions and millions of words. Millions. If you figure that I write about 1,000 words a day in emails when I write 2. And for a 10-year stretch, for more than a 10-year stretch, I wrote 2 to 4 emails every single day without fail. When you start to contemplate that I write newsletters every month, such as the one you get, and that newsletter was 5,000 words, and I have another newsletter that's about the same. And you do that every month for a year, 2 newsletters, let's round it off and say 5,000 words for each. That's 120,000 words a year. That doesn't even include the emails. That doesn't include the books. 365,000 words a year in emails, let's say, and 120,000 words a year for newsletters. That's 485,000 words a year. And I did this for 10 years without missing a beat. In fact, I had 3 newsletters at one time. Now I'm back to 2. I was just 1 when I started coming back a couple years ago. Just one newsletter a month. Now I'm doing 2. I didn't set out to do 2. I didn't set out to do one newsletter for the next 10 years. I just started it and do it each month. Each month, put out another one. And I'm going to do this for a year. I didn't commit in my mind to any more than a year. And here we are. It's continuing by having a goal that's short term. This is really important. Now, let's get into part 2 of how this works. I just explained the daily goal. Now I'll get into this part 2, which is the affirmation, and part 3, the visualization. And part 2 could be visualization, part 3 could be affirmation. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to show you how to do this to program your mind in a playful way. Be back with part 2 in a minute.